Hello guys, welcome to Croc and Shark channel. In this video we are going to share our adventures in beautiful Zion and Bryce Canyon National Parks. Ready? Then let's go! Well, our journey starts in Zion and the first thing to mention here is how busy it is. Parking inside the park has limited spots and you will hardly find any space after 8 am. Luckily, there are shuttle buses which operate both outside and inside the park. So, the very first trail we hit was West Rim Trail, leading to Scout Lookout and famous Angel's Landing. Well, we thought we were heading to Angel's Landing until we realized that we reached the Emerald Pool, which is completely different direction. After 2 miles of hiking and wandering, we finally got to the intended trail. The trail itself is only 4.3 miles out and back, but the elevation gain you have is 1800 feet in such a short distance. Lots of zigzags here. And the last portion of which is called Walter's Wiggles, named after the guy who coordinated the construction of the stairs. It is important to mention that the access to the Angel's Landing part is regulated by the permit system. You can either apply to it several months in advance or try your luck in a day-ahead lottery. We won the lottery by doing the latter. If you heard about Angel's Landing before, you probably also know that's considered to be one of the most dangerous hikes in US due to its steep drop-off and narrow exposed sections. There are chain cables along the way which will make your ascent much safer. With all that being said, if you feel uncomfortable, there is no shame of stopping at Scout Lookout and enjoying the view from there. But for those who are still eager to reach the summit, please take your time, do not rush, and take into consideration weather conditions. Another interesting fact here is that the Angel's Landing was previously called Temple of Alas, who is the character from Greek mythology, and was ruling the winds. Well, the view from the top is magnificent. Lots of magnets in the park gift shop have a print of this valley view. It's iconic indeed. While we were at the top, it started to drizzle, we chickened out a bit and decided to quickly move back. I guess it was a good call. By the way, if you're wondering what's the main element of the surrounding rocks, it's mostly sandstone. Speaking precisely, it's Navajo sandstone. You can clearly see the paintings in this footage. Here are some deer which we saw just at the parking area. Our next destination was Narrows Riverside Walk. Unlike the usual hiking trails, this one will keep you in the water almost all the time. Depending on how far you plan to go and what's the weather condition, you may decide to rent the bibs, hydro shoes and neoprene socks. Talking about how far to go, frankly speaking, you can walk a mile into the water and turn back. It's not like you're gonna miss anything important. One further step is a floating rock, which is about 3 mile mark, making your out and back journey about 6 miles. And for the absolute water lovers, if you keep going to another mile and a half, you will reach to a small waterfall known as Big Springs. This will make your total trip around 9 miles, and to be honest, it's a lot. And the real struggle is not the distance itself, but balancing on the underwater rocks and trying not to sprain your ankles. This is the floating rock, by the way. And this is the Big Springs. Whoever called it big definitely was sarcastic. So the deepest water we encountered was 3 to 4 feet in May, and this section was so short, and apart from that it was mainly stayed below our knee. We are really exhausted at the end. Having your feet in the water for more than 6 hours is not that fun. Another animal encounter as we approached the parking. Cool thing about US national parks is the passport system. You literally purchase a notebook called National Park Passport, which contains some general information about the parks and, most importantly, allocates blank spaces for the stamps. As you visit the parks, you get the park-specific stamps with some park name, date, and some cool images. Alright, our next trail is Watchman Trail. This is only 3.2 mile out and back with 650 feet elevation. Trail starts at the main parking area and quickly leads to the nice overlook spot. It took us less than 2 hours to complete, but the views were definitely worth it. Our final adventure in the Zion National Park is a canyon overlook trail. If you really have limited time and just pass Zion for a few hours, then our recommendation would be this one. Be prepared to drive through a tunnel. Trail itself is less than a mile out and back with 160 feet elevation. Route will lead you to an outstanding spot with a breathtaking views. After spending 3 days in Zion National Park, we moved to another Utah-based national park called Bryce Canyon. Drive from Zion to Bryce is a little short of 2 hours and the road itself is pretty satisfying. Bryce Canyon is known for distinctive hoodoos, spires, and towers that appear as forests of rock. This national park is a part of Colorado Plateau. Over time, the sedimentary rock was subjected to a slow, powerful forces of weathering and erosion that molded the landscape into the layered columns seen today. There are several observation points around the Valley of Hoodoos which are accessible for wheelchairs and people with disabilities. Also, there is a shuttle bus which can drive you around all of these points. There are multiple trails which you can do here, mostly making you descend from the overview point, walk around the hoodoos, and then get back to the original height. We have drawn our own path in advance in all trails, trying to cover all possible routes. Eventually, it made us about 12 miles with 2,300 feet of elevation gain. This place is absolutely different from the old national parks which we have visited before. As you get deeper into the Valley of Hoodoos, it appears that you are walking on a completely different planet, in Mars or somewhere else. Look at it, isn't it fantastic? The The uplift of the Colorado Plateau caused the area that's now Bryce Canyon to move to a higher elevation. For about 200 days of the year, this region experiences both above and below freezing temperatures, and it allows ice and rain to create the hoodoos. So if you ask how this process is happening, so first, water seeps into spaces between and within rock. Then the temperature lowers and water within the rock freezes and expands. This expansion, known as ice wedging, starts to break apart rocks. First into walls, then windows, then a fully formed hoodoo. Sad thing about hoodoos is that their lifetime is short. I mean, relatively short. The things which shape the hoodoos will also destroy them. Scientists give an erosion number to 2 to 4 feet per 100 years. So in about 3 million years, your descendants probably won't be able to see those. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed the beautiful Utah parks. See you soon!